Fire detection technology is a cornerstone of modern fire safety systems, integrating cutting-edge sensors, sophisticated algorithms, and networked alarms to provide rapid alerts in the event of a fire emergency. For businesses, residential complexes, industrial plants, and public institutions, understanding the cost of installing and maintaining such a system is not just about budgeting, it's about safety, compliance, and long-term risk mitigation. However, the cost of fire detection technology varies greatly depending on multiple factors, including building size, system complexity, detection methods, level of integration with other systems, regulatory requirements, and ongoing maintenance. This guide aims to break down those elements in clear, actionable terms to help building owners, safety professionals, engineers, and decision-makers understand the total cost of implementing fire detection technology. The first cost consideration in fire detection systems is the type of detection equipment used. At the most basic level, you have conventional smoke detectors and heat detectors, often deployed in small buildings or individual units. A conventional smoke detector can cost anywhere between $10 to $50 per unit, while heat detectors fall into a similar range. However, the moment we transition into larger facilities or buildings with more complex fire risk profiles, the requirements scale significantly. In such cases, addressable fire detection systems are the preferred solution. These systems allow each detector to communicate its specific location and status to a central fire alarm control panel. Addressable smoke or heat detectors typically cost $80 to $150 each. The control panels used to interpret data from addressable devices can range from $1,000 to $10,000 depending on their capacity, zone handling ability, and built-in features like touch screens, emergency voice alarms, and remote diagnostics. In recent years, technology has evolved to include multi-sensor detectors, which combine smoke, heat, and even carbon monoxide sensors into a single unit. These are more efficient at reducing false alarms and increasing accuracy, and their price usually ranges between $120 and $250 per device. In critical environments such as data centers or clean rooms, aspirating smoke detection (ASD) systems, such as Vesta, are often installed. These highly sensitive systems draw air through a network of sampling pipes and can detect minute particles of smoke before a visible fire has even started. The cost for such systems can start from $5,000 and go well over $50,000 depending on coverage area and sensitivity levels. Another key cost element is installation. For a small residential setup using a few smoke detectors, DIY installation may be feasible. But for any commercial or industrial setup, professional installation is a must and typically accounts for 20 to 40% of the total system cost. For example, the labor to install an addressable fire detection system in a medium-sized commercial building might cost anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000 depending on wiring complexity, ceiling height, conduit routing, and integration with existing electrical or safety infrastructure. Next comes the design and consultation fee, which is often overlooked in budgeting. A fire protection engineer or certified fire alarm designer is usually required to assess fire risk, map out detection zones, plan evacuation strategies, and ensure compliance with local codes, such as NFPA 72 in the U.S., 5839 in the UK, or IS codes in India. These fees may range from $1,000 to $10,000 depending on project scale and complexity. When considering overall costs, it's critical to include the Fire Alarm Control Panel, FACP, which acts as the brain of the system. Entry-level addressable panels cost about $1,000 to $3,000, but more advanced panels with multi-loop capacity, IP connectivity, touchscreen control, and integration with building management systems, BMS, can exceed $10,000. For larger facilities requiring redundancy and graphical fire alarm control interfaces, the cost can increase dramatically, sometimes reaching $50,000 or more. Notification appliances, such as sounders, strobes, and speakers, also add to the bill. These are essential for alerting occupants. Each unit costs about $30 to $100. Depending on the building layout and occupancy, a system may need anywhere from 10 to over 200 such devices. For buildings requiring voice evacuation systems, costs are significantly higher. Amplifiers, speaker circuits, and emergency paging interfaces can cost $5,000 to $50,000, and are especially necessary for high-rise buildings, malls, airports, or stadiums. Power backup systems are another vital component of any fire detection setup. NFPA standards require fire alarm systems to have reliable secondary power. Battery backup systems cost $200 to $1,000 depending on the load, while more complex sites may use centralized UPS systems or generator connections, which can add $2,000 to $20,000 to the total bill. In today's digitized world, many systems offer remote monitoring and control, either through a central station or via cloud services. Monthly monitoring fees usually range from $20 to $100 per site. Over time, these recurring costs add up. For high-security or mission-critical facilities, redundant monitoring paths, using GSM, IP, and landline connections, are often used, which increases upfront setup and subscription costs. The total cost of ownership, TCO, also includes annual inspection, testing, and maintenance. Fire detection systems must be tested regularly to comply with legal regulations and insurance requirements. The annual maintenance cost is typically around 5 to 10% of the original system cost. For instance, a system that cost $50,000 to install may cost $2,500 to $5,000 per year to maintain, including labor, functional testing, battery replacements, and software updates. Systems that fail these inspections may incur penalties or require costly retrofitting. Costs are also affected by regulatory and insurance factors. Installing a code-compliant system might mean higher upfront costs, but the investment can significantly reduce insurance premiums, especially for commercial or industrial facilities. Additionally, many local building authorities offer incentives for installing modern fire detection and suppression systems, especially in areas prone to wildfires or with historical fire safety issues. Let's consider 3 typical cost scenarios. First, a small business office with a few rooms might only spend $2,000 to $5,000 for a basic system with conventional detectors and a control panel. Second, a medium-sized commercial facility such as a warehouse may spend $30,000 to $80,000 on a robust addressable system with notification appliances, voice evacuation, and annual maintenance contracts. Lastly, a large infrastructure like a hospital or airport terminal could invest $200,000 to $1 million in a fully integrated fire detection network with ASD, fire graphic software, multiple panels, and 24/7 monitoring. New construction projects often see cost savings, as system components can be embedded during the building process. Retrofitting older structures, however, may incur higher labor and material costs due to inaccessible spaces, asbestos hazards, or legacy wiring. Wireless fire detection systems are a newer but more expensive option for such sites, with detectors costing $200 to $500 each but offering savings on labor and disruption. In summary, the cost of fire detection technology can range from a few $100s for a small residential setup to several $100,000, or even millions, for large, complex facilities. The key cost drivers are system type, conventional versus addressable versus aspirating, building size and layout, number of detection zones, control panel sophistication, compliance requirements, and monitoring and maintenance plans. The good news is that fire detection technology has never been more advanced or customizable. Whether you're safeguarding a small retail store or a sprawling industrial park, there is a solution that balances performance, cost, and compliance. Investing wisely in fire detection is not just a regulatory checkbox, it's a commitment to human life, operational continuity, and long-term value protection.